My next adventure is going to be this Starcaster by Fender. It came with this really nice case, although I didn't realize it was going to be a bass case. But it's a very nice bass case, as it turns out anyway. Also came with this stand, so it's a good stand. For the case, the stand, and the guitar I paid $60. So, as I'm buying it, I'm kind of wondering, what am I going to need to fix? So the first thing is fret sprout. The fret ends are sticking out sharp as razors. I mean, before I can do anything else, I definitely have to fix this. And since it's a maple fretboard, after I file it down, I'm going to want to put a little bit of sealer back over it. And then basically just file it all down very carefully, gently, until it's all flush and smooth. I've got these sprouted fret ends back to flush, and while I'm at it, get out the crowning file and roll the edges. Now these frets are tamed. And what the heck, while I've got it here like this, let me just give it a quick fret leveling to start out with. Get some marker on these frets, and then I'll file them down nice and level. Repeat the process before I give them their final crowning and polish them. Before I do the first leveling of the frets though, I am going to adjust the truss rod, but I'm going to just tighten this until there's a little bit of tension, so that it can be loosened and it can be tightened after I get the frets leveled. But I've just leveled them. I'm going to crown them. The action's not bad right now. I'd like to lower the saddles and get it lower and see how low it can go. The fret slots in the nut are definitely going to need to be filed down. Well, so far it's already gone from unplayable to playable. Now I'm going to get it playing good. I'll tie the strings back. Then I'm going to mark up the frets with a marker. Now I'll put my string lifter next to the nut. Then tune up the strings as normal. Leveling of the frets. Using this crowning file, I'm going to file down the fret, leaving the top untouched. And yes, all the frets are crowned. So I can go back in with my crowning file. I'm going to rip off a pinch of a scrub pad to quickly polish the frets here. I'm going to be careful not to scratch up the fretboard. Next, it's time for a pinch of steel wool. Super fine. If you look really closely, you can see where a little bit of the finish was sanded off to make sure the wood is sealed from moisture. For this, I'm going to use some fast-drying polyurethane. It's the clear satin, it's not too glossy. Just using a minimal amount. Guitars, everything's nice. I like everything about this guitar except for maybe these stock tuners. They stay in tune okay. These tuners are going to be kind of a weak point of the guitar. So since I have this fresh pack of tuners, it's a no-brainer. I'm going to put these nice new tuners on this nicely fixed up guitar. To remove the old tuners, take out the one screw in the back, then unscrew the top. Don't lose the washer. Swapping in these tuners has got to be one of the easiest upgrades ever, because they're exactly the same size and shape as the old ones. I can even reuse the same hole for the screw. I'm going to finish things up with not too tight, just nice and snug. Well, that was easy. I can't wait to put a new set of strings on there. Now I'm really getting into the final step. I want to make sure that the bridge is just up off the body. So I made the springs a little more diagonal. And I tightened up these screws here. So I got the bridge floating. For the final step, keep that intonation perfect. Let me see if the strings are still properly intonated. The open E string is in tune. Now on the 12th fret. Looks pretty good. Now the A string. The open A string's in tune. And it's in tune on the 12th fret. All the strings are intonated. Now it's ready to rock.